Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto markets. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss whether stablecoin apps are going to onboard retail. We're going to talk about Aster's rebound in its competition with Hyperliquid. Now that we have Kicks on the show, I'd love his take. And we're going to talk about which meme coins and altcoins we are targeting here at potential discounts. We are joined here today by another special guest on our 2-week stint without the crew. We've got founder of First Mint. We have host of the Milk Road DGen podcast. We have LG Doucet in the house today. You can follow LG at LG Doucet on Twitter. You can check out Milk Road DGen at bodoggers.com/milk. LG, welcome to the show. How you feeling? Thanks for being here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you got your start in crypto?
Yo, what's up, dude? That's a fantastic intro, man. It's like you did all that, you had all that ready. And that's perfect. You're also the first person I think that's ever pronounced my last name perfectly. No practice, nothing. But you're wearing the Acadia National Park hat, which means that you're maybe from somewhere around where my family is from, just on the other side of the border, because Doucet is an Acadian name, just from the Canadian side. So maybe we share some heritage or something like that.
This is a hat. My wife went on a trip. I'm from the like the northeast coast on the U.S., but my wife went up on a trip to Acadia and brought me brought me back this hat. I'm quite a fan of it.
Okay, well, she probably saw a lot of people that look like me or sound like me up there. A lot of weird quasi French Canadian people. But dude, guys, thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, definitely, I can tell you a little bit more about me and also just how I'm feeling right now, man. This is what a spicy time in the market to be hanging out, chatting with you guys, because I think we're just at that point where like every day people are freaking out, man. Are we going up? Are we going down? I don't remember a time ever in my crypto career of 5+ years, especially even just for degens like us, where all of us are so in tune with like what's happening in the macro. Why is Bitcoin down 2%? Like, I feel like we're all tuned into that. I feel like we all used to just care about NFT prices and who's rugging what, but now I feel like we just care about the bigger picture. And it's a very cool time to be connecting with you guys. I've been in crypto.
I was gonna say, I'll just interrupt you for a second. I was gonna interrupt you for a second there on that. Just that thought that had me thinking. I was looking at old episodes of the First Mint. So I've been listening to you since last cycle. Like when I got into crypto, I was listening to your podcast on NFTs, and I was looking at some of those episode titles last night, getting ready for the show today, and like some of them on Top Shot and the early NFT mints, just like brought me back to a time where it was, like you said, much simpler. We weren't caring about rate cuts or like global macro issues. We're not dialing into every single detail and metric. We were just aping into NFTs and
we didn't know
different art because we thought it was cool.
We didn't know. We kept trading NFTs, and there was like the other side mint. All that stuff went on way after the last cycle top. We were all like, and then we all freaked out. We're like, I don't understand why ETH is below 4,000 or 3,000, and like we're total idiots. And there's like a whole different part of crypto Twitter that we didn't even know. That was like, oh yeah, we're done here. We're cooked. Like global liquidity is receding. Like we're freaking cooked. We didn't know that. We had to learn it in the bear market. Now here we are. But dude, is it super weird to be talking to me then if you used to listen to me like 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's an honor to have you on. Like, I definitely listened to all.
Oh God! Oh my God! I can't believe you pulled all that up.
Yeah, so we got the NBA Top Shot. We got all these pack openings. We got NFTs. We got apes. We got everything. Yeah, I was a big fan of your show. I mean, it was definitely one of the best shows that could give you information on NFTs. So it's a big fan. Happy to finally come full circle. Yeah,
that was a special time, man. Thank you, Ray, for being a fan or a listener back then. Yeah, so I mean, for people that don't know, I found NFTs probably about just over 5 years ago, around this time, right? And that was a time where I was out of work. I used to work in film, so it was a very slow summer for me. I had friends who told me to get into crypto, and I did. But I found the DeFi stuff just not very exciting. But I'd worked with brands my whole life, making ads and social content. When I found like NBA Top Shot, I was like, holy shit, man, this is what every brand is going to come in and make is these NFTs, because this is obviously the next social media for them, right? And I got into Top Shot. I tried to get a job at Dapper. Like that was my main goal. I was like, please let me work for you. Please let me work for you so desperately. And they're like, no. Ironically enough, because of what happened next. Because next, at the end of December, I launched a podcast because I was just so keen on the product, and slowly people in my life were starting to discover it as I told them about it. So, and they had a lot of questions. So I launched a show thinking that honestly, like just a couple dudes in Top Shot that I knew would listen to it, maybe come on, and we would just jam as just like a little community show. But then it was so well timed that that podcast launched right before the explosion of Top Shot, and I became kind of the de facto media source about it, community resource, right? And that was a time too, like there were no NFT podcasts back then. There was like non-fun gerbils, if you know what that is. Like there was maybe one or two other like actual media sources, but there was no like Daily Show or anything about NFTs. There was no Twitter Spaces. There was Clubhouse maybe. And very quickly, within a couple of weeks, you know, we were in like the top of the iTunes charts. Everybody wanted to know about Top Shot, right? Everybody wanted to buy Top Shot. I was on a Clubhouse Spaces with Woj, with Adrian Wojnarowski, who is now retired, but used to be the main newsbreaker of the NBA. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, me and Jacob went on a show like with him, like an NBA halftime show. It was insane. And yeah, First Mint was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun for a couple of years covering like sports, NFTs, all that great stuff. As it rose and slowly kind of tapered off, and now is pretty dormant, kind of dead. And then I took a bit of time off to zoom all the way to the present. I took a bit of time off and, you know, started a family, and then now coming back, you know, I've been friends with the Milk Road guys, the current owners of Milk Road, for a long time. And, you know, we'd always wanted to do something together, and, their content, you know, they have a massive community, but it's very institutional investing, right? And again, Milk Road is a fantastic resource if you're looking to learn about stocks, or you know, if you wanted to be early to like Star or SBET or any of that kind of stuff, any of those treasury companies. They're a great place to go. But I kind of pitch them. I'm like, listen, you guys don't have like a trenches kind of resource, right? Like if there's going to be another virtuals, another meme run, another fucking, I don't know what, like what's the most obscure, like weird degen stuff that became super profitable for you? Like
Telegram gifts.
There you go. Any of that kind of stuff, like they don't really have a place to talk about it. So I pitched them on, let's do a little show, a little newsletter, you know, where I can kind of be the go-to source for that. And yeah, that's what Milk Road Degen is. And we've got a 3 times weekly newsletter. We've got a twice weekly podcast. And we also have a small paid tier called Milk Road Degen Pro. That I think is like 20 or 25 bucks a month, where you get access to like a pro report from me of like stuff that I'm buying and trading. There's a Discord channel with me. There's like pro signals. And that just kind of fits into the Milk Road model, let's call it. So, and look at that beautiful little AI image of me.
I like the cartoon of you. This is great.
My hair is actually getting kind of outrageously long. I've changed, my appearance has changed drastically since the Top Shot days. But yeah, that's me, man. And you know, what's funny is I've been a fan of you guys for a while. I've had a Bodogos like since the early days. And I've been in that Discord and been following you guys, and big fan of what you guys have built as well.
Yeah, really appreciate that. You can also check out Milk Road Degen on YouTube. They do shows as well. Big guest. You have huge names such as Mando and OSF. You had Pio on last week, I believe.
We had D's. Well. Yeah, we had D's. Yeah, the basis of the show, honestly, and I think that this, you know, maybe this appeals to you guys, but I feel like you guys, everybody listening here, is already kind of like a good trench warrior who's tuned in every day. But basically, the onus of the show is to help like people that, you know, maybe only have a couple hours on the weekends or a couple bucks on the weekends to spend on degen stuff, right? And they just hold most of their investments in the majors. Just kind of give them an outlet and help them also understand like a bit more of a trading mindset, right? So that's why even someone like, we'll have everybody from like, you know, a Mando or a Seneca who have done well and now maybe rarely make moves, down to someone like a Nick Plays Crypto, who's a guy who has 5 kids but spends his extra time every evening like digging through like virtuals and AI trenches looking for like the most low cap shitter that might run, right? So it's just basically like bringing people on that are going to explain to you like their mindset for how they approach degen trades, what sets them off. Yeah, so Mando was on, Pio was on, D's was on. We've got tomorrow's episode is with Jampsy, and we've got a lot of other great guests. I want to get a few more founders on. We had Luca Netz on a couple weeks back as well, which is always like whenever, you know, I have varying opinions on Pengu and Abstract, but I think whenever you end up chatting with him directly, you just end up getting this huge like Pengu boner that's hard to ignore. But so yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for featuring me so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely want to dive more into the degen side of things today. We're going to be talking about meme coins and altcoins. Before we do, why don't we get things kicked off, Kicks? We'll do a little bit of a weather report here, and then we'll dive into some more of the plays that you could bring to the table potentially, LG, with what you've been learning with your guests on your podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is Tuesday, September 23rd. The majors have stemmed their bleeding with Bitcoin back over 113K, Ethereum at 4,200, Solana just under 200. Ouchie, and Hype down below 48. Over the past 24 hours, Plasma announced the launch of Plasma One, a stablecoin neobank, allowing spending and earning that has nothing to do with neo-Nazis, neobank. This comes ahead of the platform launch this Thursday. World Liberty Financial also announced the launch of their own debit card and retail app. Next up, CZ's investment firm YZI Labs is considering opening up to external investors and potentially the public. YZI Labs has been in the spotlight after the success of Aster, which is backed by the fund. Finally, PINKFONG. If you have kids that are young, you know what PINKFONG is. They're behind Baby Shark. They launched a coin on Story Protocol. It's near a $500 million market cap, and the token emits royalties to the IP owner. That's insane to me. I did not see that coming. Koreans just built different, legendary. Back to you guys in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, Kicks. Yeah, this one's pretty wild. Apparently at Korea Blockchain Week, SY was giving a keynote and I think announced that they were launching this token. This token launched and promptly ran directly over $500 million market cap. Now sitting at 321 million. Pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah. Insane. Like for people to get context, this is like PINKFONG is close to the level of like Blippi. So if you have kids, if you don't have kids, you're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But like, yeah, Baby Shark, where are you? That's these guys. Okay, they know IP. So for story to get him is absolutely insane.
I didn't even know that. Oh yep. Man, God.
Like, if I was up at 3:30 in the morning and someone told me this and I knew it was legit, I would have aped the absolute bananas out of this sub 100 million. Yeah, no, these guys, like, I know their jingle. It's PINKFONG, ding, ding, ding. Yeah,
God.
Yeah, dude, they're massive.
So is the alpha?
So wait, why would you have aped this right away? Just because it's such a known piece of like IP.
100%. It'd be the same if like Paw Patrol is bigger than these guys, right? But this would be like if Paw Patrol launched a fucking token on Story, I would ape the absolute bejesus out of it.
What about compared to Bluey?
Yeah, these guys aren't as popular as like Bluey or like Paw Patrol or like, if we were doing the A through F rankings, the power rankings crypto likes to do, those are like A tier, right? This is maybe like B tier.
Got it.
But still they're valued at $1.1 billion, and that was 2022. So PINKFONG's probably worth like $3 billion right now.
Okay. What about compared to Daniel Tiger?
Oh, Daniel Tiger is the fucking man. But I mean, if you're really into kid stuff, Danny Go is the real sleeper. Danny Go launches a meme coin. Ape that shit, dude.
Danny Go. There's so much of this stuff I don't know. I only have one kid who's 2, so I'm still learning.
Okay,
I'm limiting her exposure to all this stuff.
Well, you will like Danny Go because it's like a workout sing along. Like, so they're going through an adventure and they're like dancing and like singing. So it's great for activity. Cool. Keeps kids from getting fat. That's his whole
hilarious.
That's his whole move. But yeah, PINKFONG's massive. So that's just insane for them to drop this. It's the guy that launched it. It's the oldest son of the Samsung throne, like the Samsung company. The son of that.
Oh shit! Look who we got here.
Oh great!
Live on the ground from Asia. We've got some guests here.
Oh god.
We got Clemente and Nick. How you guys doing?
Great. There are actually Asians right outside our door. A lot of them.
So it is what? It is 10:30 p.m. local time there?
10:20, yeah.
What have you guys been up to today?
We saw a lot of Asians tonight. I mean, a lot of people were wondering what's going on in South Korea. Well, there's Koreans.
The reason why we wanted to join was Nick actually wanted to talk to Kix about one of
Kix
the parlay
posted
market.
a tweet. One of his parlays, I think, is not going to hit. That's just my certain vibe right now. I can't really even say anything more. That was supposed to be private. Clemente decided to put that on here and thought that this would be a good forum for discussing it. I hope you didn't put a substantial amount on that bet because you're going to lose.
That's my company. We made the parlay, dumbass.
Who's going to win? Don't tell. No. This is a good bet to take, right?
Well, I mean, no, but this is still great.
Okay.
This is still great info, Nick, because we're trying to create parlays that are going to be juicy and early users can win on. So I
like the platform. This was not a comment on the platform. This was a comment on the actual bet. I would take the no on abstract and I actually would. I don't know about MetaMask. You think yes?
Okay, well, Nick, we'll cook one up for you today. Yes, MetaMask, no abstract.
There you go.
So anyone just listening, we have Predict Shark up. This is Kix's platform for allowing parlays on prediction markets, predictshark.io. He has a parlay here set up. Will MetaMask launch a token in 2025? Yes. Will Abstract launch a token in 2025? Yes.
I'm not saying that I have any inside information about Abstract.
You literally are, which is awesome. And this is good because now I can tell users it's a guaranteed win parlay.
I'm not saying that.
Nick is guaranteeing a win on this parlay here.
Hey, not saying that at all.
The farmers aren't going to be happy, man. They got another 3+ months. That's a long time. 6 months, 9 months.
Hey,
oh my gosh!
Look, I'm not saying that we have any information on this. Okay. All
right, you guys are boots on the ground in Asia. Did you catch this PINKFONG token?
I saw it when we were going through security. I told P, I was like, yo, this thing's at 90 mil. It's going to absolutely send. I was on my phone, though, so I couldn't buy it.
So what? You're always on the phone, yet not telling me about the token. You did this with the fucking CZ tweet. This became a situation, and I completely. We were in the car driving, and all you wanted to talk about is our future.
Instead of Aster.
You didn't even bring it up in the car ride, and I'm sitting there like we could have just aborted all of our future plans. We don't even need to make fucking content if we would have gotten Aster early enough.
Yeah, we got the tip at 15 cents and we didn't do it.
This is ridiculous, dude.
What's up?
What do you think Jimmy Kimmel says tonight?
Shout out Easy.
I wish. Hammer the crew on Jimmy Kimmel to say it tonight on Kalshi.
I like your bets, man. You're on a heater. Fading you would be a mistake.
We hit on the Jimmy Kimmel to come back before the next year. That was free.
I know. I tagged you in it. I was like, this dude's on a plane. He has no idea that he's just absolutely slated.
Yeah, I had no Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi came back and I was up like 6 bandos.
Let's go, dude.
All right. Well, sorry for
interrupting.
interrupting.
That laptop.
I'm literally
Speaking of Aster, look at this chart.
Right now.
Dude, Aster's about to hit an all-time high.
Let's fucking go,
should we
dude.
do an Aster gritty?
No.
No.
My take profits is at 220. No gritty. Yeah.
Get him off the stage. Get him off the stage.
No gritty.
Hit that gritty, dog. Oh,
Stop it. Stop it.
all right. We'll let you guys get to it. We'll let you guys get to it.
Later, boss.
Don't do the dance.
Later, guys.
Hey, Pio, get fucking open going in the right direction. Fucking go on vacation and you act like you don't have to be the CMO over there anymore.
Dude, the thing pulled back to $8 and multiple people were tagging me just like, oh, there goes my bag. I'm like, dude, are you guys like retarded? Like, are you guys okay? The thing's going to consolidate. It went from $2 to $12.
I'm with you. I'm still massively bullish.
People are thinking that we're drunk. We're not drunk. We just had Korean barbecue. We have a huge day tomorrow. We didn't drink any booze at all.
Huge day.
Professional.
And Nick literally do not drink.
Yeah. Nick just does massive amounts of kratom, but he doesn't drink anymore.
That's what I was saying when I was vomiting from alcohol 2
All right, get these guys off stage.
All right. See you guys.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for joining. Go back to Asia. Love to have the crew on. Hey, look, we got LG now. We had some comments about a PFP talking. We got LG live in the skin now.
I'm here.
Oh,
in the
man.
skin.
You said
Live in the skin. I don't know. I just made that up on the spot.
I love that
I'm in my
Doucet.
skin.
Like,
I'm wearing my skin.
it's 6 a.m. for him. Like he hops on the show at first and he's like his voice is like this, and he's like, I don't know, I'm not gonna be on camera right away. As soon as we go live, it's just this like buttery, smoothest voice I've ever heard in my life. His brain went from like 80 BPMs to 150.
Man.
We're playing dance music.
Dude, there's a point, I think, like, because when we were doing First Mint, we also became like a media promo partner company for all these people launching, like with like Flow and fucking Matrix NFTs, and like we were just like, since we were so hot out the gate, we were one of the only places with like a big audience. So there's a point, I think, at the peak, like maybe November 2020, right on the cycle top, where I think I was doing like 3 or 4 shows a day. And I was just crushed. Like it was like partner shows, our own shows, spaces, like, and I would just have to hop on and I'd just be sent like a Google Doc with like, okay, here's a talking to, here's a fucking script. And I'd look at it like a minute before. And I was just crushed. And that's the time it's like, we didn't freaking sleep at the time. The trenches, the NFTs, everything you could trade. So I was just like, I would just wake up and I'd just be like, okay, and I'd sip coffee and I'd look at this thing and I'd be like, whoa, what's up, everybody? It's LG Doucet here. Today we're talking to Jimmy from Matrix NFTs. Dude, Matrix NFTs, I'm so excited, man. I just go boom, 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 and just right back into it. And then I pass.
Yeah, we did during like the peak of the bull, we were doing a morning show from 9 to 10 and an afternoon YouTube show from an hour and a half from like 3:30 to 5. So like 10 shows a week. It's funny because I remember like the first couple of podcasts I hopped on, I'd have like butterflies in my stomach. And then once you start grinding, you just don't feel that at all. Cause you're just, it's like, a sports player.
It's not like you're in person. It's not like you're like in front of an audience or something like that. Like doing, like a concert every night. It's like you're literally just talking to your computer. So it's not that horrific. But we had this.
You're calling me a bitch. I feel you.
We had this show. It was Matrix NFTs. So it was like it was called Nifties, not the Nifty, but Nifties. Which had been founded by Jordan Lyall, if you know who that is, who did like the original like meme token, right? Like the pineapple one back in 2020, and now has done many other things. And this other guy, I forget his name, but he was one of the guys who worked at the NBA, who had like developed NBA Top Shot years before, and then saw the huge opportunity with NFTs and left the NBA to start his own NFT company with Jordan, and they launched Nifties. Where they did a few different things. They were originally going to do art NFTs, but then they ended up getting like this Warner Brothers contract, and they launched Matrix NFTs when Matrix 4 was coming out, and it was 100,000 NFTs that sold for $50. And we did a Twitter Spaces with them that had 3,000 people on it, including the Warner Brothers account. And they had a queue of over 100,000 people, or 100,000 people. I don't know how many people were actually there. And the fucking website didn't work. And it was just like the most insane, like this. We put all this money into this launch, and it just didn't work at all. And those were crazy times, man. Like I think people forget about the NFTs, that it's like half that shit didn't work at all. Like things wouldn't work. Things would get rugged. Things would instantly like disappear.
Is that Matrix Resurrections? Matrix 4?
Yes.
Oh my god!
Me and my brother got Keanu.
Joint one
they
time
got Keanu
just
to like
watched it.
Yeah,
and we were just dying laughing.
No. I couldn't even get through it. I remember I tried to watch it, and 20 minutes in, I was like, "This is horrific." Like
he was like a game. He was a game developer, and then all of a sudden it's.
As soon as Neil Patrick Harris showed up, I was like, I can't do this. Like, this is comical.
Classic.
Even he knows it's hilarious. Yes, Brian's right. And then the Looney Tunes, they had Looney Tunes on, and then I did a few spaces with the guy who currently does Bugs Bunny's voice. Like it was just like but then I knew, I was like, this is the top. Like we're done here. Like we're not gonna continue from here. Like it's and then they infamously did Game of Thrones NFTs. That had like those horrible hands. We were not partnered with them at that point. Like I think they ran out of money to keep paying us to do stuff. And I was glad for that one. I was like, man, thank God I wasn't on for Game of Thrones, because those were insane, like so comically bad.
Oh, I forgot about these. These were like pretty, like people were buying these too.
Yeah, historical art.
Pull it up. Yes. Yes.
I love just imagine that there was just like a, graphics, like 3D artist, and like they were like rushing him, and he was just like, "Fuck it," and just like dragged the arms around. He's like, "Cool, that's good enough."
Look at the fingers.
Dude, I don't know the full details, but I think whoever they worked with to do these, I think they paid them a shit ton of money. I think people, again, people these days, people still make a lot of money for doing things in crypto, right? Like the premiums for working in crypto are generally higher than most other industries. But I think for this kind of stuff, like the NFT gold rush was so intense that I think basically being able to find anybody to do your artwork or do your dev work or whatever it was, you had to pay them at such a high premium, especially if you were like a large, like Warner Brothers kind of affiliated brand. And I think whoever made those made so much money.
Oh, yeah.
Through developing those.
They were like, "Sure, I'll do your smart contract for 200 grand." And they just copy pasted it.
Yeah. Oh, at least, and the art. Oh, that artwork. No, but think about it. You're some kind of like random digital artwork shop or whatever you do, and it's just like they're like, "We're making Game of Thrones NFTs," and you're like, well, "Okay, that's going to cost you like a lot of fucking money," and then you pop out those shitters. So that was maybe a simpler time. Yeah, a simpler time where we all got to comment on that.
It's funny too because now like you can just like anybody can make a better art than that with just prompting AI, and it's just like a wild time where like you actually have to have like graphic designers pumping out these NFT collections. Back last cycle, now anybody with internet access can be like somewhat of an artist for a collection, which is wild.
Totally. Yeah.
Let's see. I want to touch on a number of things. The first thing I want to do, first and foremost, since it's pumping right now and we haven't had Kix's take yet, I want to talk about Aster. I think you're trading this currently, Kix. You're a Hyperliquid bull, and you've been kind of like bearish on the platform on the timeline. What's your overall thoughts on how Aster's played out, how you're trading it, and like what your thoughts are on like Aster v Hyperliquid v Binance?
Great question. In terms of trading, so I think we were on the show Friday, and I was just like, fuck this shit. I'm a Hyperliquid guy. I hate it. Nick longed it at like 72 cents, went down a little bit. I'm on my computer. I see it running. I longed it from 80 cents to 125. So made a nice trade there. Didn't touch it until last night. I was looking at this and I'm like, this is setting up for a perfect like cup and handle next leg move. And I'm actually proud of myself because it was at 163 and I looked at the chart and I'm like, I'm going to put in a bid at 150 and go to bed. And I put a bid at 150, retested it. And now I'm in the trade now. My original stop was at 2 and now I'm getting greedy and made it 220.
20?
So in terms of 220.
Wait. Oh, okay.
$2.20.
I was going to say Manny's back on the show. With
No. I'm just trying to get a little bit more juice out of it, which is probably dumb because that means I'm getting greedy. But yeah, so in terms of a trade, I've made some money on it. I'm not sure if it's probably just offset the losses that I have in my Hyperliquid bag, which I'll take. But yeah, so from a trade, it's been great. In terms of like what I think about the platform, I don't know. I haven't used it. I trust Hyperliquid volumes more than I trust anything from the CZ cabal, while also respecting that the CZ cabal can pump things like crazy. Like last cycle, you said you weren't in DeFi. I wasn't really big in DeFi either. I loved NFTs way more, but a lot of my buddies were in DeFi. Pancake swap, right? They basically, Uniswap was doing numbers, DeFi was doing numbers, and they're like, cool, we're just going to build Uniswap for Binance chain, Pancake swap. That went, I think, peaked at $6 billion market cap. So the CZ cabal is great at copying things, bringing them over, and absolutely printing in terms of market cap. In terms of like, do I think that they're actually going to beat Hyperliquid in the long run? I don't think so, but I'm open to being wrong. I do think that it makes sense that there's lots of competition coming to the Perp DEXs side of the business, just because of how successful Hyperliquid has been on it. So I mean, there's Lighter, there's Aster, there's Zex, which is now Bullet on Solana. So there's lots of competitors coming to the space. And I think in the short term, lots of these competitors can steal attention in limelight because they can attract farmers that want to farm and get the airdrop. Once they don't have a carrot to dangle, that's going to be the real question, whether they're able to hold that attention long term. But I mean, Aster's going to do well simply just by being the Binance version of Hyperliquid and CZ backing it. But
do you think Hyperliquid's going to react to this? Like, would they move forward their next community, like their next airdrop community awards, whatever they have that 37% for? Like, do you think they're going to do anything to try and keep that market share? Or are they just going to let this play out for a bit?
So yeah, that's an interesting question, because I mean, the other big thing on the horizon is they have unlocks for Hyperliquid starting in November, I want to say. Big unlocks, $500 million a month coming from the team. I wouldn't be surprised if the team does something around the unlocks, like saying like, hey, we're going to relock, or hey, we're going to stake and not sell our position. I really don't think they're going to look at this and be like, cool, man, we got it to 15 bill. Let's start skull fucking the chart and getting stupid rich and walk away. Just with how hard these guys are working, I truly believe that they think they're going to go north of 100 billion circulating. So I don't think that they're going to sell here. In terms of like technicals, Hyperliquid has like a lot of support around 42, 43. So if we keep pulling back to there, I think that's a good spot to relong. But at a core level, this hasn't changed my conviction in Hyperliquid and what they're building. At the end of the day, competition is going to happen in capitalism, and it can be good in terms of, you know, just keeping the fire under, you know, the team's ass. But like we saw this with Uniswap, right? And then they forked sushi, right? And then there was like 800 sushi forks after that. And Uniswap today is still the king. So I think Hyperliquid looking forward will still be the king. But on short-term horizons, I can see other things like Aster putting pressure on them. And I definitely can see Aster doing well in the short term, although they have team unlock starting in October on top of an airdrop. So there will be some token supply hitting the market.
Interesting. We have seen a number of DEXs across the board pump on kind of this like Perp DEX meta. We saw Avantis on base. We saw some like Solana, like almost dead Perps protocols like Zex pumping, people like speculating across the board that this is going to be the new meta. I think that the right take is probably just like Hyperliquid is king in UX and like platform. Aster is the new shiny thing that people were able to catch a huge bid and make potentially generational money on with how fast that pumped with infinite size. And it's backed by the Binance cartel. Like CZ hasn't posted charts of anything besides BNB until he got into this Aster KOL phase. So,
and I actually think everything that's happening with Aster is bullish Hyperliquid. That this is how threatened CZ is by Hyperliquid. That like 6 months ago, he basically said, I'm focusing all my time on Perp DEXs. And then 6 months later, we have Aster do a big rebrand from a DEX to a Perp DEX. Essentially what happened is they were like, Aster, cool, we're going to buy all of your tokens. We're going to take our pancake swap devs and throw them in Aster and have help you guys build a Perp DEX and then launch the Perp DEX. So if anything, if you think about this, the guy that has the biggest centralized exchange in crypto, a guy worth billions and billions of dollars, is very threatened by Hyperliquid and is pulling out all of the stops to try to capture or gobble away some of that market share. So,
yep, we saw that they listed Hype 300x leverage on Hype. It's easy quote tweeting it earlier today too, which is kind of interesting. I think you just I think this was like kind of a wake up call, and I think a lot of people who are holding Hype and who like trade Hype are like kind of threatened by this. Like a wake up call to like, hey, like there's going to be competition. There was really no competitor to Hype before this. And now like this is a like legit competitor, maybe not from like UX, but from price perspective that can be like compared against and take liquidity from price of token. So I'm seeing like a very big divide on the sideline. People are like hating on Aster, which makes me like kind of feel like, okay, well, there's room for price go up on Aster more. It's a little bit of kind of continue to be a hated rally versus a like consensus trade. LG, I would love your thoughts on this. Have you looked into this at all? Do you have any positions here? Do you have any like thesis on the Aster play?
You know, this is one of those things where I'm like, well, yesterday, none of us had thought about Binance and CZ. Not yesterday, literally, like I'm talking like a week ago. It's like yesterday, nobody had thought about Binance or CZ in years. Like I didn't even know that Binance was almost at 1,000. And then I was like, now we know everything. Now suddenly we're all experts and like CZ never tweets charts, like you're saying. Like suddenly we know this whole history out of nowhere, right? But that's how we do. That's how we, you know, we have to learn all the stuff really quickly and come up with a thesis right away. I'm going to try and ignore my personal bias on this one. And my personal bias, I'll explain to you, was that this was like a deer frozen in headlights situation for me, where I was like doing well on some like weekly, daily trades of like different base things. Like I bought Avantis when it came out at 25 cents and sold it all at 80. Didn't think it could keep going. But I've been doing kind of like those types of trades for a couple of weeks now and feeling good. Did a couple good pump trades on that bag work weekend with like Streamer and other stuff. And this one I saw it at 40 cents. I was like, this is already pumped 5x from where I saw it called, or when I got the call. It just wasn't online. And I just stared at it and I looked at all this thesis stuff that you guys are talking about. And I was like, this all sounds good. But I just, for whatever, it's just one of those where I was like, I just can't bring myself to buy this thing. I don't know why. I just can't do it. And then at 80, you know, I had Jamsey on the show. We recorded Friday and we watched it go from 70 to 80 on the spot. And he's just like, man, I'm so deep in this one. Like it's going to go. And it's one of those where I'm like, I just can't do it. And I don't know why. I don't know if that ever happens to you guys. You're just kind of frozen. And I feel like an idiot, honestly. And I still feel like an idiot. I feel like we should still be buying it now. Outside of my
I wouldn't feel like an idiot, because I think that the thing is like with trades, regardless, like you can have a logical thing on it and an emotional thing on it, and it's like a story, just how a trade's played out for you, right? Like you can be too early to something once again and see it too early, and then so your pricing bias is at that like first price that you saw. But the one thing that I do know is that I'd rather not take a trade than take a trade where I'm already emotionally rattled, and then if the trade doesn't work out for me, it's going to mess my mental health up and then ruin future trades for me. You know what I mean? Like I'd much rather be like, hey, I missed it, I'm just not touching it, than if you finally felt the FOMO at $2, top blasted it, and then like sold it when it retraced to 140, right? It's better not to take a trade if it can like mess with you. That's why like I have a thing, like on big positions, not like swing trades, but like on big positions, if I buy a token, then sell a token, I'll never rebuy it on like the same short-term time frame. Like, so like when I bought Ronin, I bought it at like 75 cents and I sold it at like just shy of $2 thinking I'm a genius. And it ended up going to 4. And I felt FOMO that whole way up to 4, but I'm like, I'm not re-entering at all. Now it's back down to 50 cents. But the reason why I have that rule is because I have had things where I've bought something, sold it, thought I sold it too early, FOMO back in, and then you're just rattled. And then if you lose money on the rebuy, then you mess up your mental, and
then you're cooked.
Yeah, then you can miss it, the next big trade, because your mind's all
you're busy staring at this chart, crying, and ignoring the next thing that should have come along. You know, like there's a lot of stuff that I didn't even think about over the weekend because I was looking at this chart. So hey, thank you, Kix. I need you as like my therapist, man. Like I need to like talk to you like once a day for a couple minutes, and you can I'll tell you everything.
It's because I've went through the same things, dude, that you go through every day. You know what I mean? Like my worst thing ever was I longed Sandbox right after Facebook rebranded to Meta, right? And I was a degen at the time, so I sized in pretty hard on this thing. Saturday morning, my wife's like, let's go to the park. And I was like, hey, I'm up 50% on this trade. I should just sell it and be happy, and I'll have a great day at the park. I didn't have a great day at the park. I refreshed the fucking price every 5 minutes at the park, and it ended up doing a 7x to the Pico top, and I sold it for a 50% gain. And that's fucking pain, dude. When you just do the numbers, when you do the what ifs in your head, but that will fucking kill you eventually. And that's why eventually he's got to move on. He's got to be like, hey, I missed this trade. Like I missed pump at below 3 cents or whatever, right? Where it was like a clean 2x. I just missed it. Wasn't for me. Got in late, pumped to 50%, and then round tripped it down to up 10% and exited. And I'm like, yeah, I would have loved to be at 3 cents, but I'm not even walking my brain down that story and thinking of like the what
you can't fantasize about all the money you would have had or any of that kind of stuff.
No.
But and I agree with you. And and one thing I'm trying to get better at, because I've been eating into my profits by throwing a bit of change at everything, and I think that's something that you end up doing when you get into this. Like we were so hot from like June through August, right? Where it's just like, man, anything, throw money at fucking anything is gonna blow up. And I think since then, I've been losing profits, just being like, okay, I'll throw an ETH at this. I'll throw $1,000 at this. Just, I don't know much about it, but people are talking about, they like it. I'll do it. And that hasn't been working, and I think now I'm trying to just be more disciplined. And I think if you regularly do this as a trader, regularly like rediscipline yourself to just chill out and make fewer trades and have conviction. And for something like this, like, yeah, totally. It would have been something where I threw a couple $100 at it, whatever. That would have done well. But not at the expense of continuing that habit. And I think for something like this too, it's like all this stuff about CZ doesn't post charts. The Polymarket saying he might get pardoned soon, that odds are going up. Like all the, people are in the comments are saying they've got dark pools, all that stuff. All that is wonderful stuff. I don't know anything about all that shit. I don't know CZ. Yeah. I haven't followed him and Binance. I wasn't part of the Binance fucking pumps from last cycle. It's an area that is blind to me, and learning it in a day or two has been entertaining, right? Last week, but it wasn't enough for me to full clip into something that I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is. Versus even something like the pump trenches right now, I'm like, I feel like I have a pretty decent idea of what's going to make things kind of get some attention, like that stream request thing. I don't know, everyone's probably got varied opinions about that, but I'm like, okay, cool. Like I kind of understand if that's going to do well or not a little bit more, because it's something that I tracked actively. Versus Binance, I'm like, well, I've just become this Binance CZ expert overnight, and it's not something I'm comfortable entering, despite it seeming pretty obvious, right? So I think it's just like a matter, I think especially at this point in the market where things are so volatile, I'm just trying to be more disciplined and only go into things that I feel are really obvious to me, and I'll be comfortable losing money and not freaking out if it goes down a bit, because I'm at least doing it in a way that I'm comfortable with. And that's for Aster, it just wasn't that, right?
If there's one thing we know, there's always going to be another trade.
100%.
And hyper fixating on the things that you like miss will never help you find the next trade. Like my buddy hit me up about football.fun like the second day it launched.
That's a good one.
And he's like, what do you think about this? And I'm like the tokenomics look kind of weird, but it seems interesting. Also, Mike Dudus is backing it, And then like he checks back 10 days later, and it's like, if you put in $2,000, it was worth 75 grand. And he's like, fuck, like I can't believe I fucking missed this, blah, blah, blah. And I said, there's two things I know. One is if something pumps like that and then pulls back, if you still have conviction in it, a lot of these things get a second leg. Second of all, if it doesn't get a second leg, there's going to be another thing to find. And the only thing you can take from those things is just like learning the lesson of like, okay, why didn't I take the trade? If I want to be able to take trades like that going forward, what does my like mental process need to be to like, try to take them? But
yeah,
good insight, man. Thanks for sharing, Kicks.
LG, you mentioned you're in touch on the DGen side. I want to get some of your DGen picks or like DGen thoughts in a minute on pump. But first, I want to just go completely DGen here and just gamble some money away.
Yes.
Or win some money here. We're gonna bring up Zora DTE. This is an options platform on Solana. You can bet price predictions, 2x, 3x, 4x your initial bet. You can bet over time frames, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 3 hours, and you can also trade on Bitcoin, Solana, or Ethereum. We traded on this last week, and we did some giveaways based on what I did. I ended up winning that Bitcoin trade that we had on the show, even though it was losing at the time of the end of the show, which was nice. So I hit a W there. We're going to put a big boy one sol bet on one of these kicks. I just need market analysis. We're going to do a quick 2x trade on Solana here. Are we going up or down on this 1 minute chart? I just need a quick analysis of this choppy chart here. Up or down?
On what time frame? An hour?
5
minutes? 5 fucking minutes?
This is a
1
fun.
minute
These
candles.
these are 5 minute. Are these 1 minute candles or 5 minute candles?
1 minute candles.
Oh my god.
Up.
Up. All right, we're gonna take the yes here. We're gonna go one sold, 2x on the above. We gotta clear 220, somewhere around the 220.30 area. Once this goes through, we're processing on the blockchain now.
I'm just an up guy. I believe
this is like I saw that video yesterday of people in Korea like in a bar watching people trade.
Yes,
this is a new sport.
Word, life's too short to bet the under. I agree. I like to be
up,
always up, always up, always up.
Down 10 cents briefly.
So we got to clear.
I would love for my next career to be like a live, like comment, like a play-by-play of like people trading. Like I would love to transition my career to that.
Like esports for trading, dude. Oh, and you guys are the 10x levers long with 3 minutes ago.
Yes, 100%. That honestly, that's perfect. It kicks honestly. You'd have to be perfect.
You and I did. I'll be your I'll be your hype. I'll be your color man. You're like the analyst. I'm like
I think
man.
you're Rogan. You're Rogan.
Yeah.
I'm John Anik.
Yeah.
And Ray, you can be, I guess, Daniel
Water boy,
Cormier.
get his coffees or something.
You can be Cormier, giving occasional like deep insight. But I'd love we had John Anik on our show once. That's like the great when we were doing UFC Strike, which was Dapper Labs' like UFC thing. They got John Anik to come on the fucking show. People don't know John Anik. John Anik is literally, when you watch UFC, that is the voice you hear. He is like the play-by-play of UFC. Rogan's the color guy. And that was insane. He was really nice. But yeah, I would love to be a live play-by-play of whatever the next prediction market, play calling, all this shit is. That would be amazing.
Yeah, we saw some funny stuff on the timeline with that. I was watching that, and Kix, I think you have to go. Thanks for hopping on. We're gonna wrap up here shortly. I want to see this bet come to fruition 3 minutes later.
Yeah, we're gonna win. Don't worry.
Yeah, so we're gonna check that out. LG, you've been trading in the trenches. You said that you traded the creator meta. Are you still holding creator coins, or what are your thoughts on that meta, like kind of going forward? It kind of is all pulled back across the board.
Yeah, I had some success with Zora when that came out. You know, I fucking hate Zora because their airdrop was total dog shit, and they really fucked people who use their platform for years. But I don't ignore. I think one of the hardest things to do in the space, but also one of the one of the things you have to really discipline yourself is to completely ignore your like love-hate bias to make a good trade. So when the Zora came out and they had all these creator tokens that started pumping, I was like, I fucking hate this platform, but I'm gonna go buy this shit because it's gonna do well. And did well on a few of those. And
so you were mainly trading Zora tokens.
Zora, like when they had their big creator revival, like last month or whatever, I was just kind of hunting. I was hunting for known influencers launching their tokens and or good projects that were coming out. So if you go to like the little magnifying glass on the left there, and then you go to top creators, that's one thing that was pretty popular. I mean, these prices are significantly down from what they had peaked at, and now a lot of the top charts are just people that are kind of like taste makers, I would call them, of the Farcaster ecosystem. Oh, dude,
I'm down.
You had
on these.
Oh yeah,
I bought them like midway up the run, watched them peak on top, and then just I think completely bag held all the way down.
I think it's something. Yeah, I think you got to just be really like quick with your, conservative with your capital, let's say, and that's usually my strategy for these. Is that like anything that's creator tokens, like that's a day trade for me in most cases.
Did you launch one?
No, not yet. Although I know that ISO was talking yesterday about like your best bet to get the base airdrop is to launch a Zora token. So maybe I would. I'd love to do that in a fair launch way where I also tell people like, yo, this is gonna fucking suck. Like, don't buy, like, I'm not going to care about this token long term. I'm just doing it for the base airdrop. But if you guys want to buy it, go for it. You can also see a lot of the art that I created there was for a token called Enjoy, which was launched by actually the guys who do 11 a.m., which is at the number 5 on that Zora creator chart. But I was doing this mainly to farm Zora for a couple of years, and also Enjoy was actually one of the first like meme coins launched on Zora. Zora has its own chain. People forget that Zora has its own chain. And these guys had like a tipping token, kind of like the degen token on Farcaster, that you could farm for different airdrops and stuff like that. And it did well for a little bit, but tailed off completely now. But I was actively participating in that. and still my Zora airdrop was total shit. Despite a lot of these NFTs having like 200, 500 mints, I got nothing. I got nothing out of the airdrop, which sucked. Or I got something, but it was like pennies compared to what I thought I should have gotten versus what people who had come on and only recently started using the platform got. Anyways, Pump. Yeah, creator tokens. I'm always keen whenever there's going to be some new platform where people launch tokens. The Pump weekend, not this past weekend, the weekend before, was a lot of fun. I caught like Streamer early because I saw them give the money to Kai Cenat, and I was like, holy shit, man! Like, how is this token still like $3 million? Considering that is like, that's pretty significant. And he's on stream yelling Streamer Coin, wearing Streamer Coin shirts. I had a buy order for bag work at 1.6 million when they were at 1.8 million, and it didn't fill, obviously. And the next morning I woke up and they were at 6 million, and by the end of that day they were at 55 or whatever it was. So that was that's actually a good example of another terrible trading habit that I have, where I'm just fucking cheap. Where I was like, 1.8 million, I need to buy this at 1.6. Like, I need my 15% discount or 10% discount like a fucking idiot. And the next morning at 3x, by the end of that day, it was a 20x, and I didn't have it, you know? that was like a 5 SOL buy or something. Like, it was like a decent little buy. So anyways, no regrets. I've moved on from that, but it's one of those things where, you know, I think this kind of stuff's fun, but I think you got to be on it like a fly on fucking cheese, whatever it flies like. You got to be on it quick and not waste too much time long into the future of what it'll be.
Yeah, like, I think you have to take profit too. Like, this is tough with these. Like, all these are basically down like astronomically right now.
Yeah. Oh, you got some nice buys on Kindness Coin early. That's great.
Yeah, we bought this live on stream. And
Great.
sold like a good bag near the top, and then tried to buy a dip and then washed out. But I sold all of these streamer coins maybe over the weekend. I was basically consolidating positions across my entire bag because I was spread so thin. I think you were talking about this earlier, throwing a little bit here, throwing stuff here. Like, it becomes very like hard to manage everything and to like have like very strong thesis when you're spread across like multiple assets. So I sold all my streamer coins. I consolidated a lot of things on the EVM side. My thought process here is like everything is like almost everything that pumped that, like, not last week and the one before is dead now, like essentially dead. Pump isn't going to like just go away and like shift from their streaming platform. Like, I think this is just like a taste of what they can eventually do. Maybe they didn't like break out this time, but like I have to feel that they have the war chest. They have the ability to pump these tokens. We really didn't see any kind of like pump incentive outside of like their creator rewards and like, I guess, teasing like, okay, well, there's an airdrop coming, maybe trading these creator tokens get you an airdrop. There was no like official language around that. They didn't pull many levers. Like, do you think that we're going to see another streaming meta kick off? And how does like the listener catch that early to say like, hey, how do we catch that Kindness Coin early? How do we catch that next wave of streamer coins early? What are you looking for in the trenches to like say, okay, hey, maybe we're back again for round 2?
Man, you're good with questions, Ray. You learned a lot from me 4 years ago. And there was also the Cancer Coin last couple of days. I totally missed that. I didn't really pay attention, but they also had like a cancer fundraiser token or something like that. Which
I saw there was like some kind of rug on it too, right?
Yeah, there's a different one that rugged. I think there was a PvP there of a different person potentially with cancer or something. Anyways,
gotcha.
Look at that Bun Coin. Look at Bunny Fufu down to 500K. Right, that was another huge runner that weekend. Bunny, there you go, a little bit further. Bunny Fufu.
I hit this one. This is like one of the trades I made during that weekend. I had almost a 2x on that one.
Dude, I gotta tell you too that watching, I really thought after I saw the Kai Cenat stuff like 2 weeks ago that I was like, man, this weekend we're gonna see these huge streamers come over, and that's just what I was watching for all weekend. And then I watched so many of their streams on Pump, and I wanted to rip my fucking eyes out. I don't understand how people like watching streamers. Like, sure, gaming, I understand. Like, okay, you want to watch somebody gaming, like maybe there's appeal there. But other people that are just like lifestyle streamers, just them at their desk, like just screaming and just talking about like fucking whatever. Like, at least you and I stream, but we're streaming about like, we're talking about trades and crypto and looking for new metas. Like, we have high upside potential on our streams. Like people hopefully can follow or be part of the conversation and make money. But these regular streamers, like lifestyle stuff, I was like, this is fucking terrible. Like, I just couldn't do it. And most of their streams are like, how do I lock the tokens? What is the chat talking about? I hated it.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was your original question? You wanted me to talk about like how my strategy for like getting in and out.
Yeah,
of
like
these?
identifying like, hey, like I need to be paying attention to streamer coins now. Is it like one big runner, and then you say, okay, now I gotta glue in and look for what the next one could be. Like, how do you like determine like, hey, we might be in round 2 of streamer coins?
Yeah, totally. Honestly, I just look
Hard
for some
question.
signal.
I don't know if I know the answer.
I mean, I check Moby Screener every day and a couple times a day. I think just generally, like, I don't know what their like whale trackers. I don't know how accurate that is, but I'll generally look for stuff that's seeing like a good amount of inflow. Like I'm very much a fan of like whale and overall like market inflow and outflow into certain tokens when I'm trading like base and Solana stuff. I'll use that as an indicator to pay attention, not to buy, but just to pay attention. So things that are like slowly coming back or kind of rising that I haven't heard about. I think it's always worth a bit of curiosity to check out what tokens are, right? And understand like what the unique appeal is. I really think that long-term, ideally Pump can birth tokens that have like a unique idea to pump, right? And Bagwork was a little bit that, but it was still kind of like a stunt coin, which was like, that's what YouTube streamers have been about for a long time, was doing like really dumbass stunts, getting slapped by that fitness guy, whatever. But even something like Streamer Coin, Kindness Coin was like, okay, well, you're finding a unique use of the profits, right? Which is to do something that a lot of other people do, which is, just get back to, good deeds, whatever. But at least the, unique uses of the profits, I think is what I think we'll see here. So I'll scan this every day to see if there's just anything new that's coming up. Even the Streamer Quest thing, I'm in that one right now. I don't know what the market cap's at. But I like that. It's like, okay, you're creating these little quests for streamers to do with the profits, and it brings attention back to the token. That's kind of neat, right? And so yeah, so I'll look for unique ideas typically, but at the same time, I think the pump trenches are kind of cooked for right now. I think they'll come and go, but I think as the market kind of chops, memes or something that get cut back pretty hard. Oh, there you go. I'm probably up about 50% on that. That's not bad.
Is this the token?
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I bought it right after that, like that big pump yesterday, midday, that huge green candle. I bought it somewhere like after that, maybe around like 3 mil on the come down. Probably could have waited a little longer, put in a little limit order. But again, I'm cheap. So I was like, I'm not going to wait for this to come down again like I did with, I don't think this is as big as a Bagwork or anything like that. But it's definitely one of the stronger looking, kind of like they have an established concept tokens on pump right now. And I'll also say, Ray, that I agree with you. Like, there's definitely risk of over trading at this point, right? Like, we've been in a pretty juicy cycle for almost 2 years of like a lot of big metas coming along, a lot of opportunities to make money. Top or not, I think you have to be really careful with just not throwing money to everything, right? And especially you and I, and a lot of people in the chat, it's like you're spending the whole day looking at these metas, looking at these narratives, and it's really easy to just put your attention in way too many places, right? So I think it's like sticking to things that you already know. It's like, I know these pump trenches, I know the trades. I'm not buying stuff every day right now, but I'm keeping an eye on it for when I think, to keep an eye on when it'll start to pump back up, or like it'll start to return, or maybe the cap for pump is back below 6, I think right now. So maybe Alon is going to regroup for round 2. Announce an airdrop for anybody creating tokens or trading tokens directly in the platform. Who knows, right? But I feel like they're gearing up. They had what a like absolutely crazy run from that low at the start of August to last week. 2.5 all the way to 9. And I feel like they're gonna, this thing's gonna find its floor soon, and then they'll pump it back up with some nice marketing. Maybe they have some real streamers, dude. Like maybe, the Buddy Fufus and stuff, the guys with 2-3 million subscribers. If somebody has 10 or 15 or 20 million subscribers, I don't think you're just going over to the platform and just starting a coin just for shits. I think you're going to call these guys up and be like, yo, how do I properly do this so I don't fuck a lot of people and a lot of people don't lose money on this, and actually have a conversation with the pump team to get onboarded. So I feel like round 2 is going to see maybe more like curated creators, maybe pre-sales of creators, right? Like, who knows? I don't know what Alon's going to get up to, but I feel like there'll be a lot of stuff to get this token back to the $8 or $9 million range.
We need the virtuous version of Sahil to come somewhere out of the trenches. Someone who has the influence to find these celebrities, as well as like the wherewithal to have them properly launch. and it's very hard. Like it's a very hard intersection because you have to not only educate them properly and like have them understand the nuances of how this works, because it is complicated how everything works. And like, without that education, like they might just see the dollar signs and then be like, okay, well, why not max extract? So we need somebody who can properly educate on like the possibility of doing it the right way, you know, which is like, it's hard. It's hard.
You don't want these guys. Listen, somebody has 15 million, 20 million YouTube subscribers. Like their reputation matters. That matters to them. So they're not going to go and pump, let a bunch of snipers buy up their token, sit there confused, being like, "What? How do I claim the fees? What do I do with the fee? I buy back the token. How do you do that?" Like that. If you have that money, you're way smarter than that. If you got into 20 million subs, so I would assume. And if I'm pumped, like, listen, I'm going to tell those people, like, listen, I'm going to give you $2 million to launch a token here. And I'm going to have somebody help you in the background how to take those fees and buy back the token and do all the things that are going to make your token pump. And I'm going to help you, get yourself set up here, but we're going to give you a huge upfront fee. So you're not tempted into taking the 300K profits. I'm just going to give you a shit ton of money to just come stream here for 2 months. Right. And I think that's what people predicted all along that they would do with that war chest. And I think that they just have an enormous moat that they can dip into of stuff like that they will eventually do. But I think they take their time, man. Like, listen, Alon just let that price fucking sink after that Thread Guy stream for weeks, and he let people go over to Let's Bonk and talk about how Let's Bonk's going to blow them out of the water, blah blah blah. And then when they were ready, they came back with their kind of offering and their plan, and now they're executing. And I think he's going to do that again. Just be quiet for a little bit, let the market settle, and then come back for round 2 in Q4.
I need to re-listen. There's a good sound bit of Luca Nets talking about what he would do with the pump token price if he were Alon, and he like went through like this extremely like market maker strategy where like you let the token dump, you let everyone sell, then you like announce he went through like step by step what he would do to pump the price and acquire a lot of token. And I think a lot of it may have taken place just on maybe a longer time frame still. So I want to watch that. And then I decided for myself that the answer to that question I asked you earlier, like, how do you figure it out? I think I'm just going to look at the pump token. Once this MACD curls back to green, that's when I'm going to start paying very close attention again to what's going on with the meta, like actually staring at the creator coin and streamer coin charts, because like it seems like they're fine letting this thing run up, find a floor, and then push the next wave, because they could still be accumulating at this point.
Absolutely. Right. And I think I've always said this, that it's like every great token, meme coins or majors or whatever they are, everything needs to retrace like 70% multiple times before being like a really established token. So even something like Pump, it's like, it dipped from that initial launch from like, 6 bill top 6.5 or whatever it was down to 2. But that wasn't even like fair. It was just like that had just launched. Like nobody hadn't really established. Had to find a floor. And now it's gone up to 9. And I think it could dip to 3 or 4 before it starts to find a floor and kind of come back, right? And especially if you have market chop, like what if Bitcoin goes below 110 this week, Pump's going to go below 5, right? Like, or there you go, you're establishing a nice little support line, prior resistance. So something like that would make a lot of sense, and I would want that before entering this, getting back into this with size. I want that like 70% bottom out, and that's a point too where a lot of people are like, this thing's fucking dead, but that's not always true.
Yep. I mean, that's what you do. You buy the fear, you sell the greed. There has to be fear involved for you to get a good deal on something.
When you're involved in this stuff every day, it's easy to ignore those principles. Yep.
We've been running a little bit over here. I just want to bring up my trade on Zero DTE one more time. Unfortunately, this was a loss. We finished with a final price 219.49. The under would have hit. We should have picked the under. We were too bullish when we should have been bearish. Of course, obviously is what happened here. I lost that one. One sold down, but we're going to continue to play along with this. Now we're seeing spikes across the majors after that was put in. We would be up right now. Should have taken a longer time frame. Big shout out to Zero DTE. We've been working with them. This platform is a ton of fun. I've been messing around with it a good amount. ZeroDTE.io to get involved and signed up. You can follow them on X as well, N0DTE on X. LG, thank you so much for coming by today. This has been amazing. I loved your insight. I'm sure the audience did as well. It's also been great talking to you after listening to you as a fan for years.
Thank you. Ryan.
Give you one more chance. Let us know where people can find you, how to sign up for Milk Road Degen, what they offer, and then we'll cut out of here.
Thanks, man. Yeah. So yeah, on X, LG Doucet, just literally the letters LG DOUCET. Probably, yeah. I haven't been as active on X lately, but I'm trying to get more active and busy writing newsletters. Otherwise, you can go to Milk Road Degen, milkroad.com, and all the articles are there. You can also, Milk Road has a lot of other great stuff, man. Like Milk Road Macro, they just launched as well, which I think is a great juxtaposition of stuff I think about, right? I actually learn about the macro stuff and get out of the trenches. But yeah, Milk Road Degen is where I spend most of my content creation time. A couple newsletters a week. There's Milk Road Degen Pro, where you get access to me and a paid pro report every week as well. Nice little bit there to get some of my insights, some stuff I'm in and out of these days. So yeah, thanks for the plug, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, really appreciate you joining. And thank you everyone for listening along as we had an excellent guest. We're going to have more guests throughout the next 2 weeks as the crew is away partying in Asia. As you saw earlier, they're just enjoying themselves while I'm here manning the ship, keeping things running in a smooth manner while I'm herding the cats from 13 hours away. Thank you all for listening. It's been a wonderful episode of the show. We do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. You can catch us on major podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple. Also catch us on YouTube. See what we're talking about in real time. Get to see